Now, breaking news from RTV6.
And we begin here at 6 a.m. with that breaking news. An Indianapolis police officer is dead after a shootout on the northeast side with a man armed with an assault weapon. Officer Perry Wren was a 21-and-a-half-year veteran with IMPD and is described as a well-known patrolman. He responded with other officers to 34th Street and Forest Manor Avenue on a shots-fired call just before 9:30 last night. 4 minutes later, the call went to dispatchers that Wren was down. Now the man who allegedly shot the officer is facing a preliminary charge of murder. His name is Major Davis Jr. Officers shot him too, but he survived. We have team coverage this morning on this tragic event. Derek Thomas is in IMPD's North District with the very latest on the case. Rafael Sanchez is in our newsroom with more about the suspect, Major Davis Jr. And Katie Hines shows us what the state of Indiana may consider doing to make the city of Indianapolis and the state as a whole safer. But we begin this morning our team coverage with Derek Thomas live.
It is indeed a sad day here in Indianapolis. Perry Wren served in the police department for 21.5 years, and today he was killed in the line of duty. At 9:26, he was dispatched to the 3400 block of Forest Manor on the report of shots fired. As Wren and other officers approached, suspects opened fire on them. Police returned fire and hit 25-year-old Major Davis Jr. He is in critical condition at Eskenazi Hospital. He faces a preliminary charge of murder. Police Chief Rick Height talked about Officer Wren's courage.
He didn't run from the scene. He came there with 3 officers responding to the idea of identifying the threat, eliminating that threat. He's a fine, brave officer. His family should be proud of him. We should be proud of him. And we'll honor him as he should be this week.
This is the second officer killed in the line of duty in the last year and a half. Now, 8 officers have been shot. 22 others have been shot at. We'll have more on this developing story throughout the morning. Live from North District, Derek Thomas, RTV6.
Thank you, Derek. We have continuing coverage right now with Call 6 investigator Rafael Sanchez. Rafael, you've been here all night long looking into the background of the suspect, Major Davis Jr. What can you tell us about him?
Well, Mark, good morning. Major Davis Jr. was initially pronounced dead after an exchange of gunfire with police, but he was revived by first responders. As of 2 this morning, he's recovering from surgery, and we're told that he's in critical condition. I spent hours on the phone and looking through public records to learn more about the man accused of killing a veteran officer.
The police encounter at 34th and Forest Manor is the latest time that Major Davis Jr. was at odds with the law. In May 2006, Metro Police stopped Davis near his home on North Gale. The then 16-year-old was arrested for reckless driving and possession of nearly 2 grams of crack cocaine. It just happens that the officer who sent him to the juvenile center was Greg Milburn. Milburn was shot while on duty this past May by a separate individual. In March 2007, the Dangerous Drug Section team of IMPD served a warrant on a home. There, police arrested Davis and another man on possession of cocaine and 2 SKS rifles. The other suspect claimed he owned the weapons. In 2008, Davis was arrested for dealing drugs on a scooter. Police seized 5 grams of marijuana and $888 in cash from the then 19-year-old. In 2010, a traffic stop led to the discovery of a vehicle with hidden compartments. Davis was not arrested and was allowed to drive away.
This morning, we've also learned that the officer killed, Perry Wren, just happened to have a brief contact with the Davis family 11 years ago. Major's father died of a heart attack, but the family blamed police for his death. Officer Wren was among the 36 officers who responded to that scene back on May the 27th, 2003. Live in the newsroom, I'm Call 6 investigator Rafael Sanchez.
Rafael Sanchez looking into the background there. Thank you. Our team coverage continues here on RTV6. City leaders say now is the time to act to keep illegal guns out of the hands of people who should not have them. The mayor and director of public safety plan to continue a push for tougher sentencing laws, and they're looking to the State House. RTV6's Katie Hines joins us live to explain that part of it. Katie.
Mark, the mayor argues that much of the recent violence that has happened here in our city, including last night's deadly shooting, has been caused by people who have no regard, who think nothing of carrying a weapon to commit a crime. He argues that if these violent offenders were put behind bars for a longer period of time, the city's murder rate would drop. Mayor Greg Ballard and the city's director of public safety testified more than once at the State House earlier this year for tougher sentencing laws for certain violent criminals. They say IMPD officers are continually rearresting the same offenders. That's why the pair tried to urge lawmakers to pass a bill that would allow courts to add 5 years to sentences for anyone who uses a gun to commit a felony offense. Although unsuccessful, they say they'll push for it again and prior to the next legislative session. Public Safety Director Troy Riggs says suspects in 90% of the city's homicides have a criminal record, and 40% of those gun charges.
There are other things that we have to look at in the long term, and frankly, I'm just not going to accept the fact that we're going to continue to allow the police to rearrest these people over and over again and then wonder why. I mean, they wonder why the rate is where it is when it's pretty obvious to the rest of us.
The first vice president of the Fraternal Order of Police is echoing the same frustration this morning. He says that the suspect attacked the very fabric of this community, and he says it is time to take bold and assertive action. We'll hear more from him coming up at 6:30. For now, we're live. Katie Hines, RTV6.
And continuing our coverage right now, the last officer who was killed in the line of duty was Officer Rod Bradway, who made the ultimate sacrifice on September 20th of last year. Bradway was killed while responding to a domestic disturbance call. He had served on the force for 5 years. Well, on that night, he had broken through the door of an apartment after a woman who was being held at gunpoint screamed for help. He was shot and killed during an exchange of gunfire with the suspect, who was also killed. More details now on the violent confrontations our law enforcement officers face. Officer Wren is the 8th police officer shot in the past year and a half, and the 6th officer in Indy who was shot fatally while on duty since 2001. As we just mentioned, back on September 20th, 2013, Metro Officer Rod Bradway was shot and killed while responding to a domestic disturbance call. On January 23rd, 2011, Indianapolis police officer David Moore was shot and killed while making a traffic stop. On September 24th, 2004, Butler University police officer James L. Davis was shot and killed while responding to a call of a suspicious person inside the school's basketball arena. August 18th, 2004, Indianapolis police officer Timothy Jake Laird was killed during a shooting rampage. And September 17th, 2001, Marion County Sheriff's Deputy Jason Baker was killed during a gun battle that started with a chase. As the news of Officer Perry Wren's death spread over social media, there was an outpouring of sympathy and support for IMPD and for Wren's family. This tweet from the Indianapolis Department of Public Safety saying, quote, "Remembering our fallen IMPD brother and praying for his family and loved ones, may we all find peace during this difficult time." This tweet is from City County Councilor Benjamin Hunter saying, quote, "Sad day for Indianapolis. I am heartbroken but thankful for the selflessness acts of our bravery of our IMPD men and women that they display each day." And this came in from the Marion County Sheriff's Office saying, "Rest in peace, Officer Wren. Our prayers are with his family and friends and our IMPD family." If you're just joining us, let's quickly recap our top story. Indianapolis police officer Perry Wren is dead after a shootout on 34th Street and Forest Manor Avenue on the city's northeast side. This happened around 9:30 last night. Metro police say the man suspected of killing Officer Wren is 25-year-old Major Davis. He was shot by police, but he survived. Davis is preliminarily charged with murder. Wren, by the way, was a 21-and-a-half-year veteran with IMPD. We have even more coverage of this breaking news on our website, theindychannel.com, and on our mobile RTV6 app for updates throughout the day. We will continue our coverage here on Good Morning Indiana Weekend as well. The time now is 6:09. Now to a developing story. Metro Police are still trying to piece together what triggered a mass shooting in Broad Ripple early Saturday morning. Investigators say they have people of interest, but they need witnesses to now come forward. The shots rang out just before 2:30 Saturday morning on Broad Ripple Avenue, just east of College Avenue. Police say a fight started possibly after two people bumped into each other, and the gunfire between those two caught innocent people in the crossfire.
When you have individuals who are using guns to solve ongoing problems, that's a challenge. There's no reason to bring a weapon when you have police in the numbers we have to a dense area to fire shots. Weapons, alcohol, late at night, bad mix. Leave your guns at home.
Of the 7 people shot, 1 was listed in critical condition. The other 6 suffered non-life-threatening injuries. And while there are many witnesses, police say most of them ran away from the scene before officers arrived. So authorities are asking that anyone with information call Crime Stoppers. The number is 317-262-TIPS. Happening today, the Franklin community will remember 2 teens who sacrificed their lives to save a classmate and at the same time help to support their families. Last month, Jason Moran and Michael Chadbourne died while saving 16-year-old Sarah McLevish from the Edinburgh Dam. 2 other classmates survived. Well, today the community will support the Franklin Strong one-stop shop. It will allow you to buy in one place apparel and accessories that will support the victims' families. It'll be at the Franklin Community Middle School from 2 to 5 p.m. Happening now, let's get to some better news for you here on this Sunday morning. Outside, cloudy right now, as you can see on our Weather Now camera network, but that does not mean we will not see the sun today. Let's get to Storm Team 6 meteorologist Kyle Mounts, who helps you plan out your day. Kyle?
And Mark, we'll see a little bit of that sunshine later this afternoon. Right now, we're ringing out a few light rain showers, some moderate rain in a few spots around Greencastle and Putnam County. See another shower that's moving east out of southeast Hendricks County into southwestern portions of Marion County. Looks to stay just to the south of downtown, at least the heaviest stuff. A few more showers stretching into Lafayette. And as we look east of the city, we find some showers from Carthage, Newcastle, right on into Union City for you this morning. Here's a look at your Sunday planning forecast. We'll go from clouds and spotty showers this morning to a gradual decrease in clouds. 78 our temperature at noon, 82 with a breezy south wind by 3 o'clock and a high of 84.
RTV6 continues to follow breaking news this morning. IMPD officer Perry Wren shot and killed in the line of duty on the city's northeast side. Just ahead, a live report from Derek Thomas, who updates us on the condition of the suspect who was also shot. RTV6 is continuing to update breaking news. An IMPD officer is dead after a shootout on the northeast side. Officer Perry Wren was shot and killed, and he had been with the department for more than 2 decades. Now the suspect, Major Davis Jr., faces a preliminary charge of murder. RTV6's Derek Thomas is live this morning with the very latest on this developing story. Derek?
The city has lost one of its finest. Perry Wren, who had served 21.5 years in the department, was gunned down last night. Wren and other officers were dispatched to the 3400 block of Forest Manor at 9:26 p.m. The officers were greeted with gunfire from suspects. They returned fire and struck 25-year-old Major Davis Jr. He is listed in critical condition at Eskenazi Hospital, and he faces a preliminary charge of murder. Police Chief Rick Height praised Wren's courage and bravery under fire. It is the second city police officer killed in the last year and a half in the line of duty. We will have continuing coverage of this story throughout the morning. Live from North District, Derek Thomas, RTV6.
Derek Thomas with that update for us. Thank you, Derek. We will continue to bring you updates on this breaking news story throughout Good Morning Indiana, which is on a half hour longer today. We're on from 6 to 7 and then again from 8 to 9 a.m. Let's give you a live look outside from our Weather Now camera network. This view from Bloomington, the IU campus there, looks like it's shaping up to be another beautiful day, although on the drive in, Kyle, we did have some rain showers that I saw.
Yeah, a little bit of wet pavement out there in some spots, Mark, but we are going to start to dry things out. Bloomington right now, just cloudy skies, dry conditions for you. Temperatures this morning are mild. We're all in the 60s. In fact, mid-60s with the exception of Lafayette at 61, at 65 in Bloomington and Indianapolis. These are numbers that are about 5 to 15 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. That's what an increase in clouds and a little bit of a southerly wind will do for you. And from those clouds coming a little bit of rain. We'll take you in on a radar tour here. You can see one shower getting ready to move just past the airport and on the city's south side, moving toward Beech Grove right now. As we look back to the west, Greencastle, you're going to start to dry out after that shower just moved through town, and also Sugar Ridge, some things improving for you as the wet weather anyway, pushes off to the east. A little more in the way of some light to at times moderate rain getting ready to move through Lafayette and the south side, and that stretches just to the north of the Coal Creek area. Then as we take you to the eastern half of the state, we find some light rain around Newcastle, and that stretches up toward Winchester. The heaviest of the rain, though, now moving east of town. A little bit of light rain southeast of Muncie. Here's TrueCast at 7:30 this morning, and you see we still have a few showers possible. Best rain chances this morning before lunchtime, and then as we go into the afternoon, a return of a little bit of sunshine breaking through some of those clouds, but it is going to be a warm and steamy afternoon as the humidity starts to build back in. A high temperature of 84 in Indianapolis. You know, the last 4 days we've had highs in the upper 70s, so today we're going to get back to reality. 85 in Terre Haute and 83 in Muncie. These are numbers that are a lot closer to average. This evening, the Indians still in town at Victory Field. First pitch at 6:05. It'll be more humid, but I think dry, with a temperature of 83. Of course, a game you can watch on HTSN. And then you'll need the Storm Shield app not only this morning to track showers, but again on Monday, as we'll have more rain moving on in. I think overnight tonight we'll see a redevelopment of some showers, and there you see some showers, maybe a few thunderstorms as we go into your Monday morning commute, and they'll be scattered throughout the day on Monday. We may get a little bit of a break, but more are expected to refire as we go into the afternoon, and you're going to need to keep the umbrella handy here, as it looks like in the 7-day planning forecast, at least to start off the week, fairly active. Scattered showers and thunderstorms becoming likely on Tuesday with a high of 82. Also notice overnight lows not going to be as comfortable, so the AC that's been getting a break during the overnight going to be cranking once again. 70 degrees to start off our Tuesday, 82 for the afternoon. Then we see a much calmer into the week. By Wednesday, partly sunny skies, dry through Friday with a renewed chance for showers and storms Saturday.
RTV6 News Time is 6:19, and new this morning, the Washington Post is reporting that when the National Security Agency intercepted online accounts of legally targeted foreigners over a 4-year period, it also collected the conversations of 9 times as many ordinary internet users, both Americans and non-Americans. The huge trove of intercepted documents was provided to the Post by former NSA analyst Edward Snowden. Ukraine's president now says his troops' recapture of a key city in Ukraine is, quote, the start of a turning point in an ongoing conflict with pro-Russian separatists. The Ukrainian soldiers forced pro-Russian insurgents out of the city. As the rebels fled the city yesterday, they vowed to regroup elsewhere and carry on the fight. 4 people are dead. A dozen others are injured following a boat collision near a Miami marina. Authorities say 3 boats collided near the Dinner Key Marina on Friday night around the end of a fireworks display. The boaters are believed to have been out celebrating the 4th of July holiday. Officers pulled several victims from the water there. If you are just waking up with us, we've been monitoring a breaking story overnight. A Metro police officer shot and killed in the line of duty on the northwest side. We have live team coverage. We'll be recapping the latest next here on GMI Weekend. Stay close. Let's get you up to speed on breaking news we're following this morning. An IMPD officer is dead after he was shot on the northeast side last night. Officer Perry Wren died after he was shot near 34th Street and Forest Manor Avenue. Police say Major Davis Jr. is preliminarily charged with murder in this case. We have more team coverage coming up in about 5 minutes from now. Remember, we have even more coverage of this breaking news on our website, theindychannel.com, and on our mobile RTV6 app. You will get a full look at the timeline of events of this tragedy. Plus, Good Morning Indiana will be a half-hour longer today. We'll now go from 7 to 8 a.m. and then from 8 to 9 a.m. Meteorologist Kyle Mounts has today's forecast from the RTV6 backyard. The picture tells it all there, Kyle.
Yeah, Mark, we've got the umbrella up and we're using it. We've got a little bit of light rain that's moving through the downtown area right now. There's nothing particularly heavy that we're dealing with this morning, but you may need to have that umbrella handy at least before lunchtime. And that does include if you're heading out to the Bartholomew County Fair today, although I expect our rain chances are really going to kind of taper off as we go south of Interstate 70 this morning. Mostly cloudy skies. Notice as we get a little bit of sunshine this afternoon, that temperature is going to jump up to 86 degrees. A south wind, though, that's going to be quite breezy, 15 to 20 miles per hour, so it's going to feel like fair weather. As we look at radar and satellite this morning, you see we're all locked in the clouds, but we do have some scattered light to moderate showers that are swinging from west to east across the state. If you do have some travel today, this is a holiday weekend. As we're kind of wrapping things up, you notice there's a little bit of rain across portions of central Missouri this morning. Also another complex moving through Minnesota and into Minneapolis. The rest of the country, things are fairly quiet. The best chance of seeing some stronger storms later today actually around Chicago, up into Wisconsin and eastern parts of Iowa, where we could see some gusty winds and a little bit of hail out of some of those storms. Temperatures, they are warm right through the central part of the country, and we are going to kind of say so long to our break of summer-like heat and humidity. The 76 degree in Kansas City, yeah, we're going to start to see some mornings here in the 70s as well. We'll go ahead and talk about your regional travel forecast for today. If you're heading up to Chicago, 84 with scattered storms. Again, a few of those could be strong. The heat is alive and well in St. Louis with a few storms, partly sunny, 85 in Cincinnati.
I want to tell you that we are following breaking news this morning. We have an expanded edition of GMI Sunday for you. We are on from now until 7 o'clock, and then we're back with you from 8 o'clock until 9. That breaking news, an officer dead this morning after he was shot last night on the northeast side. We will have live team coverage from Derek Thomas, Rafael Sanchez, and Katie Hines, all covering different angles of this story. That's next.